As we close the September quarter, I want to share a perspective on what's really shaping our region. APAC is growing, and the winners are the ones installing guardrails as they scale. In one phrase, growth with guardrails. We're seeing steady, if uneven, global growth, but tariffs, geopolitics, and compliance demands mean leaders need discipline as much as ambition. Let's explore what's changing, what matters, and what practical steps senior executives can take right now. Globally, growth is holding near 3%, but inflation trajectories are diverging. Some APAC markets face tariff and energy cost pressures, while others see muted inflation. The mixed inflation picture is complicating monetary decisions. The IMF nudged forecasts up, but the OECD was blunter. Higher trade barriers could drag growth right through 2026. Closer to home, August figures showed Asia's factory pulse softening. Japan, Korea, and Taiwan contracted, while China nudged just above expansion. There's no crisis, but there is some fragility. In Australia, director sentiment lifted for the first time since 2021. That's important. Boards are cautiously planning again, shifting from defence to considered offence. Across APAC, optimism is also flowing through the events industry. In fact, 63% of planners here feel more optimistic than 6 months ago, the highest globally. And in ANZ, 81% expect to run more events in FY26, with in-person formats up nearly 60%. Optimism is back, but it's cautious optimism, growth with guardrails. One of the biggest shifts this year isn't GDP forecasts, but in the rules that shape how we operate. In Australia, mandatory climate disclosure for large entities began in January 2025, with phased rollouts for others. In New Zealand, climate reporting has been mandatory since 2023. In Hong Kong, listed companies must report climate-related risks, and further mandatory reporting from 2026. And in Singapore, listed companies must disclose from FY 2025, with large non-listed companies following in 27. At the same time, Australia's Anti-Slavery Commissioner is lifting expectations on human rights diligence. And Europe's new supply chain directive is flowing into APAC contracts. The message is clear. This is no longer just reporting. ESG is now a commercial capability. Boards are actively demanding that ESG goes beyond compliance. And AICD's October 2025 agenda underscores sustainability as a reputational risk, not just a regulatory one. It will decide whether you win contracts, renew clients, or even get shortlisted in tenders. Leaders who treat ESG as operational core, not a compliance chore, will be the ones who thrive. Another clear signal, hybrid workplace is no longer an experiment. About 80% of Fortune 500 companies are now in some way hybrid. But there's a catch. While Stanford research shows 2 days remote work can be just as productive as 5 days in the office and reduce attrition, Harvard warns that hybrid erodes collaboration if leaders don't design new rituals. The organizations doing this well deliberately build off-site rituals into their operating model. At Cliftons, we're seeing more mid-sized gatherings of 20 to 200 people. These are purposeful sessions, board and management offsites, certification programs, training intensives. They build culture, solve problems, and accelerate decisions. The lesson? Hybrid succeeds when you design the moments that matter. If you leave it to drift, performance drifts with it. AI adoption is exploding, but ROI is patchy. The winners are treating AI as part of their management system, not a side project. The new ISO IEC 42001 gives leaders a framework to build an inventory of models, assign owners, tie them to KPIs, and then govern for bias, privacy, and drift. In the events world, we're already seeing AI deliver tangible results. Personalised agendas, real-time translation, delegate matchmaking. These aren't gimmicks, they're productivity enablers. The lesson is simple. Shift from demos to deliverables. Govern AI, tie it to outcomes, and make it accountable to KPIs and your P&L. The rebound in events across APAC is real. But it's not about chasing scale. It's about creating resonance. In ANZ, budgets are climbing, with 77% of organisers planning to spend more in FY25 and 26, but expectations have shifted. Sustainability, inclusivity, and immersive experiences are the baseline. The story is quality over quantity. Smaller formats of 20 to 200 people are consistently outperforming on NPS scores, retention, and decision speed. Whether it's management offsites, team onboarding, strategy days, or curated dinners, the winners are designing experiences that change a decision, a skill, or a relationship, and then measuring the outcome. Organisations that invest in experiences with purpose, aligned to ESG, trust, and human connection are the ones converting spend into real business impact. So, what's the playbook for the quarter ahead? Lock in supply chain ethics, refresh your human rights due diligence with suppliers, make AI accountable, build governance and tie models and work uses to KPIs, invest in skills, leverage CPD and micro-credentials to develop and upskill your teams, and design hybrid on purpose. Decide which work decisions and connections need to be in the room, not on the Zoom, and publish a Moments That Matter calendar, pre-booking spaces and time well in advance. And finally, treat ESG as a sales capability, because procurement is already scoring you on it. The story this quarter is discipline. Demand is uneven, but resilient. And firms that will outpace peers in 2026 are doing three things right now: hardwiring collaboration into their daily operations, governing AI as an everyday tool, not a pilot, and gathering their people with intent. At Cliftons, that's exactly what we're here for. Compliance-ready, sustainability-certified venues where leaders can plan, train, organise, and reconnect. Thanks for watching.